Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, the Flash movie Supergirl. And I picked this figure up at Target today. They were street dated, and I showed up early and picked up the entire wave. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse, the Flash movie, Supergirl. Here she is in the package. Looks like we have 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, and a flight stand and collector's card. One side of the package, Supergirl for the Flash. Other side simply says Supergirl. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there's her barcode, if it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's a drawing of Supergirl. So with no further ado, let's open her up. And I was able to pick up the entire wave at Target today, even the unmasked Target exclusive Michael Keaton figure. And of course, the mother load here. We have the Batmobile at the top. Can't wait to open that thing. You may notice one figure is missing, the standard Barry Allen Flash. I actually found him by himself at a Target a little over a week ago, so that was already checked off my list. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out. She comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, a flight stand, and a collector's card. But before we look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Supergirl from the upcoming Flash film. She's played by Sasha Calle, and her real name is Kara Zor-El. So let's check her out. Now, start with her face. Honestly, I don't think it looks that good. I think her head is too big. The hair, just kind of like eh. The face itself, I don't think it looks good. Big nose. Her neck is far too long. The head feels too big and it sits too tall. I don't know, I just feel like it's not some of McFarlane's best work, that's for sure. The suit has nice texturing, kind of reminds me of the Henry Cavill suit, and that's sort of what it's supposed to be similar to. Long flowing cape, but she makes her very top heavy. It's kind of hard to get her to stand up and not lean backward. Double jointed elbow. Texturing continues all around the suit. Double jointed knees. Overall, not a horrible looking figure, but like I said, not exactly some of their best work. I will admit that I'm kind of going to the character Supergirl in this movie with a bad attitude. I don't like the fact that they're replacing Henry Cavill with her. I don't like the fact that they're kind of doing their own version of Flashpoint without Thomas Wayne, without Superman, etc. I don't like the fact that originally they were going to go with a female trinity, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and Batgirl. But of course, they've course corrected like 17 times since the original plan. And honestly, looking at the figure, it looks to be probably the worst in the wave. And just a closer look at her face and head sculpt, I'll have to say, I'm not impressed. And here's the figure broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's check out her accessories, and let's start off with the flight stand. Her flight stand comes in 2 separate pieces, the bottom base, and then the actual flight post. When put together, it's going to look like this. The bottom is a circle, transparent, says DC. It's got 1 peg for the pedals on her feet. Then it's got this post up here, which comes to the clamp at the top. The clamp can rotate, it's hinged, and it can open and hold your figure in a flight pose. Now let's look at her hands. She has 4 of them, 2 flight hands and 2 fisted hands. Every single Superman and Supergirl figure out there should come with a pair of fists and a pair of flight hands. So thank you for that, McFarlane. Here she is with her first pair of hands. These are her fists. Then, with her other pair of hands, these are her flight hands. Now that they take a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, now let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, she's standing at about 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. Now for articulation, starting with her head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. She can look up and down a pretty good amount. Can tilt her head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. She's got a butterfly joint between her shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering that large gap. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbow. Her wrist, it can rotate and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint her torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one her waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, a very wide range of motion in her torso area, which will really be handy for flight poses like that. Legs, complete dozen splits, not a ball joint, McFarlane style hip joints. They go forward all the way. Back, not much. Rotation's pretty much non-existent. Double jointed knees. Then her ankle, forward and back. Rotate, tilt rock, and of course, to articulation. Tells Batman, I changed the past and created a world with no metahumans. When General Zod came, there was no one to stand up to them. Now let's check out a couple of action scenes. Here's the unmasked Michael Keaton Batman sitting in the Batcave, doing some research at the Batcomputer. A closer look at him, eyes glued on the screen. Both versions of Barry Allen from the Ben Affleck universe and the Keaton universe come together to the Batcave. They're looking for some help to defend against General Zod. Batman there meets them both. Do you guys need some help? Both the Barry Allens are in awe of what they're seeing. One of the Barry Allens says, you're... And Batman looks at them and says, yeah, that's right. I'm Batman. Batman gets ready to hop into the Batmobile. Canopy slides forward, preparation for him. Somewhere between the Batcave and fighting General Zod, they pick up Supergirl along the way, evening the odds. Batman, both versions of the Flash, and Supergirl arrive to stop Zod and the other Kryptonians. Supergirl fires her heat vision at General Zod, pushing him back. The fight begins. Here's the Keaton Batman taking on Fiora, and behind that, we have both versions of Barry Allen using Speed Force to take out some of the Kryptonians. I imagine there's going to be a scene pretty similar to this in the film. Here's a look at Supergirl hovering over the skies of Metropolis. A closer look at Supergirl. And here's Supergirl in a flight pose, heading right toward you. Now let's check her out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Supergirl figures. Here she is, next to the only other McFarlane DC Multiverse Supergirl figure they made. This is based off Injustice 2. I've seen some people complain about this Injustice Supergirl's hair, but god, it's way better than the Flash movie versions. And here she is, next to my DC Direct Supergirl figures. Then, with all my Mattel Supergirl figures, here are all the different Supergirl figures that I have in my collection. Now let's check her out, next to some other Flash movie figures. Here she is, next to the Flash movie Michael Keaton Batman. Then, the Flash movie Ben Affleck Batman. And now, next to both versions of Barry Allen for the Flash film. Here's the entire Flash wave so far, 7 figures, and hopefully some surprises in the future. And here's the entire Flash wave and vehicles. Here she is, next to the Henry Cavill Superman in his blue suit. The DC Cinematic Universe of Superman, it would be really cool to see him with the sidekick Supergirl, but it's probably never going to happen. And here she is, next to the Gal Gadot version of the DC Cinematic Universe Wonder Woman. At one point, this is Warner Brothers' plan to have a female trinity, Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Supergirl. Batgirl was going to replace Ben Affleck as Batman in this DC Cinematic Universe. Supergirl was going to replace Henry Cavill. It all sounded awful. The Batgirl movie was originally going to have Michael Keaton and Batgirl, but they totally scrapped that thing. I think originally they were going to kill off Ben Affleck Batman in The Flash. Then they changed it, and they were going to have him continue on, so they got rid of Batgirl. Then they decided to reboot the entire universe. I don't know. I'm worried they're going to kill Michael Keaton off. And if they do, so be it. But this is not the direction they're going anymore. They're completely rebooting the DC universe in the movie screen. Now let's check her out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, with the entire Flash wave. And here, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Dick Grayson Robin and Kyle Rayner Blue Lantern. And here she is, next to some Target exclusive Gold Label figures. We have the Flashpoint Aquaman and Project Superman, and I believe Supergirl's role in the Flash film is very similar to Project Superman's role in the Flashpoint comic. And then the Jokerized Dark Detective Batman and Impulse Deadman. Then, with some Gold Label Walmart exclusive figures, Vampire Batman and Joker, Eradicator, and Beast Boy. Here she is, next to the Titans wave, Collective Build Beast Boy. And now, next to Shazam and Wonder Woman from Shazam Fury of the Gods. Here's Supergirl, next to the Arkham City Riddler and the Arkham Knight Earth 2 Batman skin. And here she is, next to the 2 most recent McFarlane Mega figures, Calabac and Fulcrum Abominus. Then, next to the 4th wave of Page Punchers, this is an Aquaman wave, Aqualad, Aquaman, Black Manta, and Ocean Master. And now, next to the Dark Knight Trilogy wave, Collective Build Bane from the Dark Knight Rises. Here's Supergirl, next to the Kingdom Come Armored Batman and the Dark Knight's Metal Gladiator Batman. And here she is, next to the Con-El Superboy, Duke Thomas the Signal, and both versions of the Jay Garrick Flash. Then, next to most recent Batman wave, we have the Hush Batman, both versions of the Nightfall Catwoman, both versions of the Rebirth Mr. Freeze, and the Infinite Frontier Joker. And finally, next to both the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin and the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. Now let's check her out. Next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my smaller. But first, let's check her out with some of her McFarlane Toys brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. Here's Supergirl, next to a hammer. And here she is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here she is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here she is, next to some Mezco 112 collected figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here she is, with some Mayfix figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here she is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's just an okay figure. I don't think her face looks very good. I don't think her hair looks very good. I think her head is too big. I think her neck is far too long. Overall, it's a disappointment of a figure, and I really hope it's not a disappointment of a character like I'm afraid it's going to be. But I remain ever optimistic, at least as much as one can be. Her accessories, at least she has a flight stand, flight hands, and fists. Her articulation is everything you would expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Sculpt and paint job, well, sculpt and paint job on the face and the head, not so good, but the rest of the body is just fine. She's also really top-heavy. The cape, her small feet, she's really hard to stand. She falls over so much. Unfortunately, I would say she is the worst figure in the Flash wave, and I was expecting that rank to go to Dark Flash. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give her a 5.5 out of 10. I was going to give her like a 6 or 6.5, but she just kept falling over. And I told myself I will not give her above a 5.5. And maybe that's even generous. I just don't think she looks very good. And I've seen the character Supergirl in the trailer and still images and stuff. The character looks better than the figure. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.